let's get straight into it with my wonderful panel, social commentator Prue McSween. She's in Sydney, and former Labor Minister Stephen Conroy, and we're keeping our distance here in Melbourne. He's with me in Melbourne. I've got to start with you, Stephen Conroy. We know that our retail sector, small business, are going to be hit hard. We can already see it on the streets. We can see it with the lack of clientele in restaurants, bars, etc. Made worse, I think, by announcements. Smart announcements from a health sense, but not so much economically, about bars and restaurants now having to have more spatial room, as we have here tonight. I can't believe, though, that the shopping centre lobby group hasn't met with the retail lobby group, and they've been asking for a meeting for 10 days to try and manage a way through businesses to stay afloat.
No, if they want to drive their small businesses into the ground, that's the way to treat them. I was talking... Michaela needs to start knocking heads together, get them in the room and say, here's what we're going to do. Yeah. She should take control of that situation. I was just talking to a friend of mine who runs a cafe in the foyer of a building. It's Telstra, one of the main clients in the building. They've sent all the workers home. He says it's an absolute, it's just no customers at all. He's rostering on his staff that have got children and mortgages rather than the younger casuals, trying to spread it as much as he can. And this is what they're facing right now today.
And this is a risk, you've been in government. The ministers that are in the gun, under the pump, they're working hard. They can't do anything more. And other ministers who don't think they're necessarily front line sort of disappear into the woodwork. And this is where the PM can't do everything. Yeah. He's got to keep the pressure on all of them to perform. No,
look, you're right. They've all got the sort of knock-on effects. The Transport Minister should be convening a meeting to talk with the airlines. Michaela should be convening the retailers and the landlords, get them together. There's a string of secondary effects. Dan Tehan's got the entire education sector he's trying to manage, and it's not just universities, it's all the ancillary services around the universities. Each of those ministers should be sitting down with their sectors now and trying to work out how can I add in value into the packages that are coming forward.
I want to play a clip. It's an Irish accent, which is perfect for St Patrick's Day, but I want to play a clip. It's from Dr. Michael Ryan. He's the Executive Director of the World Health Organization, and this is about how important it is not to be perfect, but to be fast. Let's have a listen.
Be fast, have no regrets. You must be the first mover. The virus will always get you if you don't move quickly, and you need to be prepared. And I say this, one of the great things in emergency response, and anyone who's involved in emergency response will know this, if you need to be right before you move, you will never win. Perfection is the enemy of the good when it comes to emergency management.
Prue, it's interesting, when the government here called it a pandemic long before the World Health Organisation did, the usual suspects on Twitter went after Scott Morrison for fear-mongering. I don't think anyone would say that now. One of the real challenges is to just keep staying ahead of it and making decisions and getting things happening.
Well, that's right. It's just, it's a very unknown field that we're in now. Or landscape. Not many of us have ever been through a depression where they had a similar sort of economic downturn, this incredible emotional trauma that the population was feeling, and trying to keep ahead of the pace of it all is incredibly challenging. I think that the Prime Minister's done quite a good job, although there are so many mixed messages coming from the states where some of the politicking is going on and the ego building is going on. We saw during the fires where Shane Fitzsimmons was really communicating morning and night, and there was one voice, and it was so easy for the community to understand what was going on, whereas we've got different state health ministers giving mixed messages, and it's making it very hard for people. And what we have to understand is we're at war with this virus, not with each other in shopping centres and competing for food. And but of course we understand why this is happening, because of the mixed messages that are happening, and people are just scared.
And it's also a bit of common sense, Stephen. A lot of these things we're being told to do now, we should have been doing, we probably did as kids. And if you go back to the war, we had to ration then. This is the problem with human nature, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, we've had such a long period of economic growth. We have not seen the tough times that many other nations have seen in the last 10, 20 years. Australia's been blessed by both sides of politics over that 20, 25 years economic growth. So we've grown a bit soft.
Now,